All right, spawning up in the top right, representing Alpha X, it is AqueroN.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. And his opponent. My nameplates say Estrella and Lambo. Sorry,
Really?
in the bottom left. He is the... I'm so confused right now. I can't get my head around it. He is the Protoss player from France. It is Lilbow. I know
That's
why.
so strange.
I know why. I have the old file.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. It must have gotten somehow weirdly corrupted or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
crazy.
Lilbow, he is. It's funny we were talking about retirement with Masa. He also has, you know, gone on record saying, "Yep, I've retired again. I'm done. Like, it was a good run. I had fun, but I don't think I feel that spark." And it's like, okay, that's fine. But he is still very much a threat. Like, he is not a player you can, you know, just write off. Like, he's got that pedigree.
Yeah, he's a player of just pure talent, right? He was a champion in... gosh, I'm trying to think what he won. He won a major tournament at some point. I want to say it was a DreamHack, but I feel like I might be wrong. He's just... Or was it a WCS EU?
It was, yeah, WCS Poland.
Yes, EU. Poland, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so one of those like really great players who peaked and then he moved on and went to do other stuff and came back, and he's been like in his first competitive series back. I was like, holy crap, are we sure this guy ever stopped? He looked incredible. Right? And he can generally keep pace with just about anyone. So I'm excited to see how he's gonna pull this one off. So far, everything very normal. Adept opening. We got the instant reactor here from AqueroN, so he didn't even make one Marine into reactor, which means that this Adept went straight across the map, which it hasn't, or it will. Could hit before there's too much here. It's a little bit scary. It's going to be okay, I think. Everything's going to be fine here for AqueroN, and pretty standard openings. Factory coming down, proxied though here by our Terran player.
Yeah, you talk about preparation for a best of 3 or a best of 5 or whatever series, and this is one of those builds where it certainly looks like we're seeing something a little bit crazy. I think we might even see a proxy starport. I think we might see proxy starport and just like 3 Hellions and just go. Now, this is a pretty common proxy location. I wouldn't be surprised if Lilbow checks here.
No, I agree with you there. It's one of those things that you'd expect him to maybe look for. He hasn't been able to see too much. He's going to see these Marines up here now. Of course, that does mean that the scouting is going to be denied here by Lilbow, but he's not actually looking around too much. He's not sent any further units out just yet. We're getting closer and closer, Dave, to this starport completing. We're going to have those Hellions locked and loaded, getting dropped into the natural. Maybe a couple in the natural and 1 or 2 in the main as well. Or just all of them in one place. I mean, the more there are, the more damage they do. But both of these locations are looking pretty darn open. The main specifically, very, very vulnerable. And so far, this is looking like it's got a lot of potential here for AqueroN.
Yeah, it certainly does. No shield batteries just yet. We are going to see one coming down the main, one in the natural, and the natural one will cover part of the probe line if those probes are pulled. But the first couple shots could be pretty devastating. Now, this is only 3 Hellions. It's still enough to one-shot probes, but yeah, it's not so great if one of those Hellions goes down and there's a shield battery. It's going to be a lot more difficult to get anything done. But he's going to pair this with his Marines coming across the map.
And this is just a whole bunch of unupgraded, basic white Marines. They're going to go straight into the main here, but what this is going to do, of course, is pull everything out of the natural. And if that shield battery in the natural goes down, which it very well might, this is already some pretty okay shots. But as you said, this Hellion's getting a little bit low, and all of their shots not marred up as well. Only 2 probes going down so far, and the Marine's going to be pushed back. I think Lilbow is just like handled this like perfectly.
Yeah, only losing 2 probes is so little damage for proxying 2 tech structures. Yeah. Like, this is fantastic for Lilbow. He's got Blink now done. He's getting up into a 3rd Nexus. He is cooking. He's cruising. He's up 10 probes. Sorry, 8 probes now. It's 2 SCDs complete, but this is really, really good for Lilbow.
And not only that, all of the tech was delayed, right? There's no stim even started, and that's not that uncommon. But is there even tech labs? There's one. Okay, one just finished up now. But aside from that, there's very, very little. The drop is still main pressure down in the southwest. But honestly, Lilbow's defenses are pretty good. He's also got this observer seeing everything. These two tech buildings, as you said, have not produced in ages. Now we've got a bit of potential as the drop actually getting unseen here, but it's just not getting the shots in. Now we're finally starting to see a few more probes go down. I still don't think this is going to be enough damage. Steadfast 5. Okay, it's so we've seen 7 probes go down. It's okay. It was, I say, a necessity at this point here for AqueroN to find that damage, but he's a long way off having any upgrades, and there's already Colossus and extended thermal lance was started and then stopped, oddly enough, to get a 1-1. But there is already a Colossus on the way, and once that pops out, these very, very basic Marines are not going to be able to get so much done, I feel.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That, like you said, that was a necessity. He needed that damage just to kind of equalize. And I would say Lilbow is still a fair bit further ahead because of that better tech. Now, it is fortunate for AqueroN. He did get a pretty quick 3rd command center. He got the double engineering bay himself, so he's actually going to be up in the upgrade timing. But I still really like Lilbow's position at this point.
I agree too. Yeah, just having those extra workers. He's still up 4, but I mean, with Chrono be setting time into the upgrades or the production, he's producing 3 at a time as well. 2nd Colossus already on the way. And I think another thing I'm seeing is he has a lot of units out, right? A lot of vision even. He has observers pretty much everywhere. So is he going to see this? It's going to be blown close. Yeah, the probe will see it.
Yeah, he sees it with both the probe and the... Yeah.
The observer just caught it too. He doesn't have a lot of units right now. He could really do with that 2nd Colossus. And actually right now he's producing all of those extra gateways to give his army some backbone and some oomph to get all of those charge zealots in. As charge is done, those zealots have grown their leggies. But 5 gateways are now finishing up. They're gonna transform even into warp gates. You're gonna see just a bunch of frontline unit stalkers or zealots warped in. And with only 4 marauders here, the marine count is pretty good. But I feel like these Colossus are just gonna rip and tear, as Maynard would say.
They certainly do have the potential to. Oh man, this observer once again finding this drop. God, that is just...
There's another one just north of the main as well, so he's going to see the exact time this comes in, even if it does delay a little bit. Lilbow really putting the emphasis here, and maybe he was weak for a small moment when he didn't have that 2nd Colossus because he spent so much time making observers, you know, he didn't get his gateway till a bit later as well. But 1-1 is done for both of these players, so there's no upgrade advantage or disadvantage right now for either. We see a Ghost Academy coming in for AqueroN. I really like him in that stage of the game. I've always felt he's very, very strong in that stage of the game. But Lilbow's defense is Showtime-esque. I mean, he's just done a great job of not taking any damage. I mean, this pylon is going to be fine. Of course, there's one zealot is going to come and just slap that boy in half. Okay, I mean, sure. That's a thing that happened. Cancel on that base is nice. Especially if these get away, and they will. A little bit of damage here. But actually, right now, AqueroN really does have a supply lead. I expect we'll see a warp-in round very soon to sort of even that up. But if he were to just, like, go, there's maybe a chance here. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, we do have a double Starport Viking actually coming in. Oh, that's a
shot.
Really massive Widowmine shot for no reason whatsoever. He has observers and he'd already baited the shots. That's a pretty big mistake, to be honest. We're going to see a bunch of stimmed bio coming in on this left side. Everything kind of rallying together. Disruptor for Lilbow is out of range, and AqueroN's just kiting, picking off quite a few gateway hits. Very good for AqueroN.
Yeah, all of the zealots have now gone down. The disruptor will go down. If these Colossus get collapsed upon, they will fall. We have a flank coming in from the north as well. The Colossus have been left completely unlooked after. Oh, they're going to be okay as Stalkers come in. And in the end, it does look like Lilbow going to be okay to push this back. He doesn't lose any of the Colossus, which right now are such big units. The Medivacs actually could be vulnerable here too, as that it's not quite enough to one-shot. But it's bloody close. 2 go down, 3 go down. This base will get cancelled. This is just too much, I feel.
Yeah, this was such a weird decision from AqueroN. Oh, and he kill, not a cancel. Weird decision from AqueroN, and a Viking going down. Great stuff from Lilbow.
There's nothing left.
Yeah, no,
to deal with the Colossus.
Not so much. There is double Starport Viking, but he didn't really wait for it to come online. And now he's building Vikings and Liberators. That's a weird kind of choice.
Yeah, Liberators are good if you're ahead and you want to start sieging slowly, right? They're just sort of air tanks, flying tanks. But he really needs the Vikings right now because there's nothing beside these Colossus that's doing big AoE damage. He has the ability. Does he have any ghosts yet? No, he has the ability to have ghosts. And that will deal with this ground army very, very efficiently. There's a lot of Stalkers here and barely any Zealots. Now we're seeing the Archons join the fray as well, and they're going to provide that meat in front. They're going to make this very, very difficult here for the Marines and the Marauders. And without ghosts, like in the next 30 seconds or so, this is going to be scary. 3-3 has also started for our Protoss player, not for our Terran. He has not started that one up yet, and I feel that's a mistake because actually he does have money in the bank. At least minerals. His gas bank isn't too bad either. There we go. He starts +3 weapons as I'm saying that. More reps coming in. I will say Lilbow maybe a little bit too passive with some of the fights he's taken. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's nice. But we have a big fight going on, Dave.
That we do. Yeah, Disruptor going to get fired out. Does get target fired down. But there's still just so much splash damage. Lilbow, his Colossi are attacking buildings, though. Yeah, but it just doesn't matter. He's got way too much. And he kills the command center. Yeah. This is... That's 29 SCVs going down. This one looks... It looks already over from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see SCVs right now being pulled to try and fight. The Archon in the front even staying alive that little bit longer, getting a little zappy zap onto some of those Vikings and lowering them. I don't think we've seen a Colossus die this game, and I am correct, Steadfast. Every Colossus standing strong. And once reinforcements get here, and there's a warp-in round coming in right now, 15 more Zealots, and 3-3 completes, I think we're going to see our happy little Terran friend have to happy little tap out of this one.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. You're 100%. Colossus retention has been the name of the game. They're going to start moving forward here again. He doesn't really need to attack into the natural. He's going to do it. Oh, God, the Vikings taking so much splash damage, but the EMPs do delete those Archons. But it just... Well, no, actually, this is kind of a bad attack.
Yeah, there's too much ground, though, I think. Even though it was definitely a bad attack, there's just too many Stalkers in the back. And just like that, Lilbow picks up the first map of the day.
That he does. It's so funny that Colossus retention was the name of the game, and then he just is like, yeah, the game's over. I'm just going to attack. And you're like, no, wait, don't do that. No. And he's like, yeah, it's over. And he was right. But, like, he tried to make it not over at the end, you know? He tried to give that one away a little bit.
I agree.
Man, it's such a shame because AqueroN, when he took that fight, he was kiting so well. He was kiting just the gateway units, killed a bunch of Zealots, bunch of Stalkers, got the Disruptor, and then he was like, I'm gonna bum rush those Colossi. And they were 1-1 Colossi. They had extended thermal lance, and his bio flank came in a little bit disjointedly. And he was like 20, 30 supply ahead at the outset of that engagement. Or like as it was developing. If he just ran away, got like 10 Vikings, I think the game's over. I think he's got it. But he just tries so desperately to get in there. Those Colossus picked up like 30 kills together just in the bio. And it completely flipped the game on its head.
And the way I look at that is I think Lilbow was great in Heart of the Swarm. And what did he do? He played a Heart of the Swarm game. He made Colossus, he made Blinkstalkers, he made Zealots. He got a Disruptor or two. Didn't do too great with them, really. I think they got no big hits. But his Colossus retention, which was such an early StarCraft 2 to sort of mid-lifespan StarCraft 2 talent and skill to have, is what he did best with, and it ended up working out. Now we moved on to Oxide. Of course, Red Protoss in the top right, leading the series 1-0. Let's get into this one Steadfast, and I'm going to introduce our player. He is the Red Protoss player in the top right, representing France, leading the series 1-0. It is Lilbow.
And his opponent creating a pretty good situation for himself, but unfortunately unable to convert. It is Alpha X's AqueroN in the blue.
What a legend. Good old Ruben. I like that kid. I like that kid too. Of course, Lilbow playing for Team Altar currently. Also was a coach in the Overwatch League for 4 years. The Grant fact of the day was a really successful Overwatch coach. Not many coaches in esports, especially in like League of Legends and Overwatch and stuff. Even CSGO had 4-year tenures, so it says a lot about him. Obviously did a great job there before making his return to kicking ass here in StarCraft 2. Now we get to see what he's going to do this game. Now, of course, that first game, it's easy to say Lilbow just kind of looked really good, but the proxy wasn't great. 7, I think, workers died in the end, maybe 8. It wasn't enough for 3 proxy Hellions, you know, proxying the factory and the starport, not having those buildings for so long. And I think if AqueroN can play on just a level playing field and maybe, you know, he's done what he wanted to do. He tried his cheeky build. Just play it slow, play it steady. I don't think he's going to look too bad.
Yeah, I think if he plays a little bit more standard, he looked good. He looked really good in the mid game. Besides, you know, that decision where he just rushes the Colossus and doesn't have anywhere near enough, and it's a pretty unfortunate error. But I think, like you said, it would be a good move for him to just play a standard game. It is also worth noting that the 7 probes that he killed, only 2 of them were with the initial drop. The 5 that came later were like a minute and a half later, which doesn't seem like much, but that's a
lot
fair
of mining
bit of mining. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, it was just kind of. It just wasn't great. But you try these things in a best of 3. I've always been someone who agrees. A cheeky, aggressive build, we won't say cheese, in a best of series is great. Keep your opponent on their toes, make them take those extra scouting risks, or you know, using that 1 extra probe to scout that little bit longer. Maybe it'll get you an advantage if it doesn't work later. And we get to see a very standard opening this time from Lilbow, going for that Twilight Council first. No very quick Colossus this game. Meanwhile, we have a command center and stuff coming in here from our current player that's going to finish up Star Orbital. 1-1-1. Everything very, very normal so far.
Yeah, nothing really nothing to report. All quiet on the Western Front, as it were. Definitely pretty standard. I do want to point out this is a little bit of a funky wall from Lilbow, including the pylon in that wall is kind of uncommon. It's neat because it means it's now a 2-building wall with a unit in the wall in case there's a Hellion run by. It's just one of those things where you're like, huh.
If this was like a 2-1-1 or something, though, that pylon is so vulnerable. And it's quite unlikely you'll have a second pylon too quickly. One thing it does mean is that you can have your shield battery quite far back next to the Nexus, and that will support very well with a battery overcharge, and you can see it coming down there. That can't be reached from the ramp with Marines or Marauders. Maybe Marauders at the very top. But I've always preferred the pylon further back in a 3-building wall. Me personally, in this matchup, a wall is, you know, not something we see every game anyway. We do see a few more wrecks coming down now. Everything pretty normal. Medevac first here. Gonna pick up these mines and head downtown, see if they can find some damage.
Yeah, just I like to call it the Big Gabe build, the double Widowmine drop into the Raven. It's just, it's the most stable build I can think of in this matchup. The Widowmine drops gives you vision. The Raven is just good against many things. Oh. Well, hopefully everything is all right with Grant. Looks like we're having some tech issues, but it do be like that sometimes. We'll just... Oh. I've got a thing for this. And, well, if we have to continue on our own, that's okay. I've done this before. I'm a professional. So it looks like it was a power being cut situation. So we're just going to continue on this game. Get back into it. Widowmine drop will make its way on through the right side. We are going to be seeing a robotics bait coming down, so it is relatively quick Colossus, only off these 2 gateways. Lilbow does have a nice spotting pylon, getting a forge as well. We'll see how quickly he reacts to this drop. Oh, it is quickly enough. Bing, bang, boom. Only going to lose, one probe so far. Oh, Lilbow almost walking into something there. It does manage to avoid that, though. 2 probes going down, probe pull. One of the Widowmines does escape, though, which is quite nice. That can come back and threaten it a little bit later. Now, we are going to be seeing this starport coming down pretty shortly. He is going to swap it. Okay, double medevac should be coming on out. He should have seen the robotics bay. Yep, saw that in the forge. Hopefully he clicked on those. We can assume that he probably did. First Colossus in production. Stim and combat shield still a little bit of a ways away from finishing up, so we should have at least, I think, 2 Colossus up in time. Will we have extended thermal lance? Probably not. Just now started it. I was going to say he hasn't started it yet, but there it comes on down. Cannon going to be coming down at the front, as well as a cannon and a shield battery at that 3rd base. Lilbow does know about the additional barracks. Now, will he be able to move onto the map and snipe this Raven? That is a really, really massive unit for this push, because it's got that interference matrix, able to switch off those Colossus. You really want those in order to make that happen. That is what you're going to be going for sure. Stim and combat shields coming online. Pylon is going to complete. Sees this army coming. Lilbow doesn't have his 2nd Colossus out just yet. And this Raven, well, it doesn't quite have enough energy for a 2nd interference matrix. But boom, he's just going to dive on the 1st one. Battery overcharge not up in time. And AqueroN, he is just going to run over Lilbow right here. That Raven, worth its weight in gold. Another Colossus does pop out, but all the probes at the 3rd base are going to go down. Lilbow attacking his assimilator for a moment. And we're going to see AqueroN trying to dive on this Colossus again. He is going to heavily stim, but will take it on down. He might get held. Oh, nice Marauder pickup right there by AqueroN. Lilbow, he should be able to just barely hold, but he's taking so much damage. And
18 probes going down there, and the roughly Stalkers even, just making the most out of nothing here. Going to be able to even save that Marauder and get them out. AqueroN just picking up a huge supply lead in this game, and it's exactly what he needed after, that failed game 1 to be able to pull this back. I do apologize. I just had a power cut. The whole building did. It seems to have come back. We'll hope it stays. We have the reinforcements of AqueroN making their way here now, Steadfast, and it's a lot of units, a lot of blue moving up the middle of the map. And he has another Raven. And even if there's very little Colossus, look at the units lost tab. Can we look at the army value, if possible? Because I imagine right now it's so one-sided. And, I really like this. If AqueroN just loads up and goes into the main, there's nothing there. He's just going to take up the cybernetic score, but I think that could have been a missed opportunity, possibly.
It's guaranteed damage. I'll take it. It's cybernetic score gateway. Will take some shots on those Marauders, but they're going to be able to survive. Ooh, there's a Raven here. Will not get that Observer. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, I like this. If he just takes these into the main now, just constant pressure. Of course, the Observer will see it. There are some Stalkers, but that means the less of the main army is together, and the front is maybe vulnerable. We can see the 3rd of AqueroN is doing good. Lilbow still has a good amount of workers. He just has no army. Does that Raven have enough for 2 interference matrices? I can't really tell. I'm watching free chat.
It does, yes. It has just enough.
Yeah, so this army, once the reinforcements come, we're actually going to see a bit of a pincer attack here, which I love. There's so little left on the field right now for our Protoss player. He does have battery overcharge most likely available. We see the interference matrices coming in. There's nothing here, Steadfast.
Yeah, he pops the Guardian Shield, but he gets 2 tapped with that 2nd Colossus. 3rd one is not going to have a hope. It is doing its darndest. Oh my God, it survives with 2 HP.
It's actually doing so much work, but I mean, the 3rd is forfeit at this point, I imagine. We can see the cannon go down. There's barely any workers here. 69, 90, 48 workers at this point, and the blue reinforcements will continue to stream across the field. Oh my God, that Raven playing with fire there. Does manage to hold on. This was a good cleanup from Lilbow, but it feels like at this point the damage is done, and there's so little that can be. Oh my God, this Colossus is literally immortal.
5 kills on that, but it's taken so much damage, absorbed so much, and that does give him a small little chance. Oh, this Widowmine. Oh, if he could have burrowed it right here, it would have actually reached the mineral line on the low ground. Nice job. Nice blink away. Does dodge that. But AqueroN is not done with the pressure. There is a second Colossus out, but now the Vikings join the field, and that should be just too much for Lilbow to deal with. But I thought that was the case before, and he held.
I mean, yeah, with the Vikings at this point, the Colossus will fall. We have a couple of Zealots coming in, but it's too little, too late. And AqueroN will even it up, and we get to go to a map 3 steadfast.
That we do.
And I'm still on webcam. We did it.
We saved it. Absolutely nothing wrong here. Everything perfectly fine. Nailed it.
Oh, webcam's crashed. That's exciting.
Oh.
Oh.
No,
that looks great, though. There we go. Okay. So, I can't do magic tricks here. It doesn't matter. We keep going. So, I'm actually just going to do this from the screen share for now, because I'm a little bit concerned that maybe my PC caused the power cut. I don't know why. I've just got this bad feeling. So, I'm just going to stick around here and not in-game, but don't worry about it. I'll tell our producer I won't do it again. Gonna go from screen share. And this is what I said, right, going into it. If AqueroN can play a standard game 2 and just kind of take the fights he did in game 1 from not behind, he's going to be great. And that's exactly what happened. He was able to just do what he needed to do. So well played to the young Spanish boy, Lilbow. And now we get to see that map 3.
That we do. And I am excited about it. We've seen some pretty cool stuff from these two players. AqueroN showing a lot of confidence there. He is very aggressive. Like, he's not afraid to just YOLO. Just get right in there. And yeah, I'm excited to see if he can make that happen. Lightshade, a little bit more of an open map, so I think there is a good chance we could see that continue. And Lilbow, he kind of just got stunned, got shocked by AqueroN's sudden appearance. So we'll see. Can he make the adaptations needed in this game number 3?
Yeah, I think Lilbow probably needs to be a little bit more aggressive now. He's kind of sat back a little bit and tried to go into this Colossus style, and you could tell by the end of map 2 that it was figured out by our Terran player. So we will see how this one works out. Here we go. As we do have our player in the top left of Lightshade LE. He is the red Protoss player from France representing Altar Gaming. It is Lilbow.
And his opponent spawning down in the bottom right, evening the series of 1 apiece, representing Alpha X. It is the Spaniard AqueroN. Ooh, he's going for a gas first. Yeah.
Well, I like that. Mix it up a little bit here after doing the same thing, the same opening every game. Try to make this just a little bit different. It's pretty cool. So could catch his opponent off guard here, which is obviously what we are looking for, and what he is looking to do as well. We will see that one coming in shortly, I'm certain.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing an engineering bay block with this.
Ooh, I like it. It's cheeky. It's annoying. It's throwing, I've always said in a series, you need to throw your opponent off a little bit. Now, Lilbow did have his probe down in a very good spot to see this. And that eBay, although it has so much hit points, isn't going to be able to get the whole way. We can see how many probes have to be pulled. Losing the SCV would be bad, but instead it is just going to be those probes coming off of the line to do what they need to do. And that is all good for Lilbow. At what point does it become worth or not worth?
Well, I think the big thing is you can just take a third Nexus as your second, or like at the third base you can take that as your natural, but that leaves you very exposed to something like a Hellion run-by. Yeah. And so it's kind of a choice.
Or even a 2-1-1 with bunkers. And Thermal used to do that a lot. He used to force the natural to take him at the third, and then he'd do like a 2 or a 3-1-1, and he'd just bring like 2 SCVs and build bunkers with a couple of tanks, I think. This was, I'm dating myself here, this was a good year or 2 ago. But yeah, the third just generally being very, very vulnerable there. It's going to be handled though by Lilbow. You can see the probe SCV count. It's pretty even as well. Lilbow has that slight lead, which is with Chrono, but he's probably going to scale quite fairly. I think it's fair to say. It does look like we are going to see those Hellions coming on in Steadfast. Probably, actually, or is it? Oh yeah, it's going to be a Hellion drop, right?
Yep, this time it is going to be 4 Hellions. A little bit more teeth to that one. Yeah.
has always been a build I'm fan of. I'm quite a big fan of. You see this by the Korean Terrans quite a lot in places like the GSL. It's of course tricky if it is scouted. It's frustrating, and we do have that first adept, I believe, heading out across the map. Let's see an adept, or am I going insane? I'm probably going insane. But this is there he is. Okay, so he's not headed out at all. This is actually a little bit rough for Lilbow, saying this defensive. He has absolutely no vision beside that initial probe scout, so he doesn't know what's coming at all. And now we have these Hellions moving across the map. They're actually just going to poke at this ramp here, which is interesting. Wait for the third and the fourth to come and join the fray, and then we should see, as that medevac pops, them all going straight up into the main. And this, if he goes around the very north side, this isn't going to be scouted.
No, it will not. I do have to be very critical. There was no reason for him to show those Hellions there. He should have kept them hidden. Fortunately for him, the Lilbow was not being active with his adept, so he didn't see them. But he could have shown them for no reason when Lilbow has no idea what's coming. And he will see this medevac coming on in.
So
Hellions are going to unload. No shield battery. Oh, this is going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is going to be 8, 9, maybe even 10 probes going down here. We can see 8 instantly. One stalker comes to join the fray. This is going to be more than 10. I got this one really wrong step back. 15 workers going down, and every Hellion so far surviving. If they go down into the natural here, there's some potential to get more damage done. The medevac may go down. Oh, of course, this is going to be 20 plus.
Yeah, this is actually just game-ending damage. He's going for a 4-gate Blink Stalker all in, and he is not going to have the economy to support it.
No, not even slightly. He could support with 19 workers, what, 2 gates? Probably-ish. 23 dead SCVs. AqueroN has just done exactly what he needed to do. I mean, even a prism is so expensive when you have so little money here. AqueroN right now has got to be, he's got to be happy. He's got to be great. He's already got 1 siege tank as well. Second one about to pop out, which he keeps on the high ground. Will keep him defended. You can see bunkers coming down. He knows all he has to do is hold, and he is in prime position to take this series. And it's a big series here for AqueroN, a big win that he needs.
Yeah, it certainly would be. I actually misspoke. It's only 3 gates, so even worse. Yeah. He's just going to have Blink coming online now. He's got 3 bunkers, all of them online. Tanks in extraordinarily good positions. He's up 12 workers, which doesn't seem like much. But when a Terran is up workers, that is disastrous for the Protoss.
Yep.
And Observer going to get scanned and picked off. We're seeing even a second Viking to go after that War Prism. Is brutal.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal. Siege tank number, I believe now is either at 2 or 3 as well. I mean, yeah, that's the 3rd one out. If he blinks up into the main here, the tank can do a lot of damage. There we go, GG as soon as the tank is in. AqueroN